everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rehab Garage. Well, as you can see, I can take it no longer. I had to get the engine put into the 180SX. I spent a day doing this, basically. And if you're astute, you'll notice that I have swapped the sump pan on the bottom from a stock one to a Tomei one. And now I'm literally just trying to get the car situated into place so I can, move around the engine crane and whatnot. I worked out pretty early on that I was going to have to remove the intercooler and front bar, so that's what you can see me doing at the moment, pulling them off. It's just so that the upright part of the engine crane can move in far enough to try and get that center part where the engine's hanging from literally over the cross member, because that's pretty much where it's got to go. The footage in today's video has all been sped up because literally this engine install took me a whole day. Here you can see me putting down some padding for the intercooler because I work by myself. Obviously, as I undo the bolt, it's going to fall off the car. I wanted to give it a soft landing when it came off, and so this padded car cover was perfect. You've got to work with what you got. It's very difficult to see it in this image, but in addition to the engine crane and the leveling bar that I've got on there, I've actually got a trolley jack underneath the car as well, just sitting on the cross member. It was about this time that I realised that I hadn't put the new water temp sensors in, so that's what I'm doing right now, even while the engine's sitting in midair. Just going back to having the jack under the cross member. Having those three things in place just allows me to control the height of the car in case I need any room for the gearbox to swing down underneath it, and of course the engine and gearbox with the engine crane. And now tightening those water sensors. I don't know why I didn't do it earlier and decided to shift everything around, but there you go, doing them up tight. I'm now trying to wind the level bar out so I can drop the back of the gearbox down as low as possible to try and get it to go inside the transmission tunnel. With the engine install, I found that you're better off just giving yourself as many options as possible as far as moving things around. Sometimes being big can be a bit of an advantage. You can use your body weight to move a heavy engine crane and things around. I also use things like jack handles to try and guide the gearbox. As the engine crane slowly moves down, you get a little bit more movement horizontally as well. The closer you get to the engine crane being horizontal on that arm at the top, literally the more reach you get into the engine bay, which lets you, helps you out basically getting the whole package into the bay. I was getting frustrated, so I decided to take a break. You can hear in the background the skyline starting up. I had to move it around outside before the rest of my family got home. As you're about to hear, I had a little bit of fun doing it. fun time is over and back at it again. You can see how we're using the jack to lift it up a little bit. It's all just literally about shimmying everything around. Just trying to find the right combination that gets the whole package a little bit further in.
I'm gonna have so much to edit.
Yep, there was a whole 8 hours of footage to edit down to get this 8-minute video. By this stage I'm actually getting quite close to having the engine mount bolts in. I'm just trying to get enough reach on the engine crane to get those last few inches going backwards, and again just shimmy it into the right position to get it in. I'm also rebalancing it, trying to flatten it out, which I ended up finding out later was a little bit of a mistake. Once I got the engine mounts almost in, I couldn't get them the last little bit because the back of the head was just hitting on the firewall. I ended up working out later on that the reason why it was like that was because the back of the gearbox was sitting so high at that point in time that it was just interfering with each other. The eventual solution to getting the engine in was leaving it in the place that it was and dropping the back of the gearbox down. I pushed it down with my hand a little bit from inside the car. That allowed the engine to clear the lip on the back of the firewall, along with the engine loom that runs along the lip as well at the back of the firewall. All in all, it went in very smoothly, all things said. It took me a whole day to get it done. Even the shifter for the gearbox just popped up right into the hole where I needed to inside. As you'll see in a second, I actually used a ratchet strap and a jack handle to hold the gearbox up once I had everything in place, just until I could get the gearbox mount installed. For this car I ended up going with Nismo engine mounts and the GK Tech urethane gearbox mount kit. Here it is, ready for the crossmember and mount to be installed. I didn't film it, but after I got the engine installed, I moved into the interior and installed the accelerator cable, also a new accelerator pedal because there was an e-throttle pedal in this particular vehicle when I picked it up, and also started plugging in the loom, as you can see here. Thank you all for joining me on this journey, and I'll catch you all next time.